Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You might be wondering why there's no music at the moment. I will be getting in the game shortly. I'm just sending out the links. So this is going to be our planning stream. We're going to obviously do the moves as well, but we're going to talk about things. I do have a tendency to do this kind of slow talking. I don't know if I'd say methodical. I'd say bumbling if anything. But we'll just get started here in just a moment. There we go, shared some links, so we should be okay. Hopefully audio will be alright. If you guys do have any issues, just let me know and I can obviously adjust and we'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and hide set image here and we'll go ahead and get into the game here then. Let's go ahead and get the game up. Wow, smooth like butter. If there's anybody in the chat, if they could let me know if the audio is okay, that should be nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break these up into 30-minute segments on YouTube, and we'll go from there. I do have a sleeping pug. I'm at home at the moment. Not that I just possess a sleeping pug, but yes. I will probably have to walk him in the near future, so we're going to go through this. I don't think it'll take too long, but we'll go through. So I just want to go ahead and take a look at really what options we have, maybe discuss what we're going to plan to do here, really. So in terms of how we approach the situation, I did put out a poll not too long ago asking people what they thought would be good. And I think in terms of what we're going to do here, I may run with the NATO counters, but, well, I will run with the NATO counters, but having the images does help, at least initially. So I'll stick with them for the time being and then we'll change. What I'm thinking about doing here, because we do have 200 victory points over here, there's a number of different ways we can spend these. I mean, you do have such things as limited preparation over here, where you do have 8% income, 6 replacements per turn, 2 Soviet units repaired each turn, 2 rebuilt each turn, minus 30 victory points and 3 tension index. Okay. Total preparation, so we have general mobilization, the war pact, nations prepare for war, so 10% income, 10 replacements each turn, 3 damaged Soviet units reconstituted, 3 destroyed Soviet units rebuilt per turn, 70 VPs, 10 tension index. We have the mobilization of Hungary over here. We have some that are actually worth taking. This one over here does cost us income per turn, 5% income per turn. But we do gain 3 victory points, which it does come in handy later on. But we'll see. It does have a potential payoff as well, but I'm not seeing payoff as of yet. Now, we do have a joint command, so this does improve our forces. So I'd like to take them, but I'm not too sure if I'll be able to afford to take them. See, this is it. We can go for total preparation, which means that we gain a lot, but we spend a lot. Frankly, it's going to come down to how we want to go ahead with things. Do we want to go ahead and have total preparation off the bat? I can do that, but it does mean that I'm not going to have maybe access to modernization. The thing that we have right now, if I go ahead and just find a Soviet army over here, for example. So let's take the 7th Guards tank division over here then. So you can see that we have here 6 attack, 5 defense, and this is the T64 division here. T64 over here. There's a really high pollen count today, by the way, and I do get hay fever, so bear in mind, if I start breaking down, you know why. Where's my T80? I have a T80 around here somewhere. I wonder if they're around folder. I wouldn't be too surprised if they were around folder. Let's see. Told you it'd be around folder. Let me just check the chat's working okay. I can see there's about 6 of you in here at the moment. Hopefully more will be along shortly. But yes, this will be going up on YouTube in the near future as well. But if you guys do want to follow me here, I think I'll do the streams on here. And then we'll have a YouTube content separate. And then it's good for people. At the end of the day, not everybody has 5 hours. I do tend to do overly much content sometimes. Right, so we have the T80 division over here then. So we have 6-5. So they're pretty equal in terms of the actual attack there. They do have the air defense though. Now what do we have here? No modifiers, but we do have tactical superiority, cancels 1 hit. They can of course pursue. How does that compare to the T64? We've got some T50... Oh, we've got a T64 over here, then. Can I find a T64 division? I want to compare. Alright, here's another T80 division, actually. Okay. When you want to find them, can't find them, but when you don't want to find them, you'll find them. Okay, so the T64 is obviously a good tank as well. The T80 is obviously like the more modernized version of the T64, or like the more modern design. How you doing there, Mexi? God damn, I love that dolphin, man. I tell you what, every time I see that dolphin, I think of you. I can't see a dolphin, but I think of you now. Maybe a bit louder with the voice, okay. Let me go ahead and just adjust that. I'll go over here. And I'll whack that up to... Shall I go 100? I'm going to go 100 and just not talk too loud. Like, okay, is that too loud? I'm going to go down a little bit. I'll go down a little. I'll go to about 90. Yeah, we'll go 90. Right, that looks okay. That looks okay. I'm going to try not to be too loud. Alright. Anyhow, so we have T64s. Let me go ahead and find a T72 division. I should have some of them around here. T64. I swear to God I will have them. I do have combination forces as well, but I'm looking for my... To be fair, I'm looking for like T72s, and it's like, well, yeah, 90 is good, that's excellent. Thank you very much, Maxi, much appreciated, my man. I may have to look towards the East Germans then for the T70s. 2s, that is. Yeah, there we go, we have the East German over here then. So tactical superiority cancels one hit. Okay, so it's just tactical, not related to the actual tank itself then. Okay. But if I take a look at the division here, we do have lower air. Over here then, 2-3. Okay. Interesting. I'd like to see how the stats affected, but I do feel like the actual quality of tank does matter. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about this. I started talking about cards and options, and then I got a little bit distracted, as tends to happen. I think options I will take... Now, this is the big consideration here. Do I go for aerial supremacy, or do I really try to hit them hard in the ground phase? We do have the luxury of launching the war here, which is a pretty big deal. Like, we begin the war, so we have that. This is essentially like me playing Japan and One Pacific again, so it does mean that we have that option. In a lot of ways, hitting NATO's air is almost, if not more important than hitting that ground. The ground force is obviously very dangerous, but the air is, of course, much more mobile, can really strike home in ways that we can't really deal with everywhere. But I do wonder, if we go with air supremacy, so air superiority over here then, so Soviet fighter bombers initially dedicated to air superiority. Yeah, okay. So +1 air-to-air combat factor, -1 ground attack. Now this is for Soviet fighters and bombers. The fighters themselves won't become... I think they do gain from that, though. I'm not too sure, but I think they do. Let me double check. It may be a turn 1 thing, but... Right, let me get these cards out of the way. There we are. I need to get used to the weighted part. Right, so currently they have 5-4. Okay. I could go for the modernization, which would increase those. I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe leave off air superiority then, in fact, because if I do that... Like, I feel like the... Oh, I can't decide, actually. Like, the land there, okay. And now this is going to depend. We are going to be playing against my good friend Alex, who's the moderator on the Discord. He's been practicing NATO pretty hard, so I have no idea what kind of strategy he's going to pursue. The strategy that we're going to pursue here, then, is one that has been... it's been chosen by you guys, essentially. I did put out a poll that I mentioned earlier. And the poll was, do we go with tactical nukes, do we go with chemical weapons, or do we do neither? And neither was the option voted for, so this is going to be a purely conventional affair. Can I make the game a little bit louder? Is the game loud enough? Let me go ahead and bump that up a little bit. If you can hear snoring in the background, by the way, that would be Teddy. Alright, a little bit louder there. Let's see. I could go for Doomed as well. I mean, Doomed's very interesting. It does give NATO 30 victory points over there. It also does increase the tension index. So, tension index is going to be one of those things that we need to try and reduce as well. We want to win the game. But let's go ahead and rule out what we're not going to do. And it's hard to say, because I could invade Hungary. Sorry, Austria. Yeah, then the no-goal horde's free, yeah. Alright. Okay. Let's look at forced disposition then. I'm not too sure if we mobilize. We have Poland. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth mobilizing Poland to begin with. If we take a look at the actual general plan, Ben, what is the general plan? I think we are to try to aim for the Rhine. It depends, really. Let me go ahead and turn this off. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see there. But it depends, really. I think where NATO's weakest is really out here around Hanover. Like, if we look at these areas over here, we've got clear terrain, we've got small cities and villages. Of course, we've got some big cities here, but you've got a lot like clear terrain out here. A lot of small cities and villages, but yeah. You've got a lot you can work with. A lot of urban areas, though, of course. So there's, of course, Forest 2. The south, again, lots of clear. The issue is with the south, they could have potentially Italian reinforcements. It's hard to really cut them off. And we are also moving then towards France. I think if we can move, yes, so many rivers as well. There are so many rivers. Thankfully, these are smaller rivers, but the Rhine, of course, there being a major river. We do have a major. I think this is a major. Sometimes it's a little hard, but that looks like a major river there. Oh god damn it! What's the name of the river again? I forgot the bloody name now. The Danube. Is it the Danube? We've got obviously over here as well. This is a major river, I believe. So we'll have to deal with that. There's a lot of problems that we have to deal with, really. Okay. This is why I'm doing this as a stream, because I can be like freeform. Oops, knocked my phone over. So yeah, we could aim towards the major cities and try to essentially outposition NATO, but I need to destroy NATO. I need to destroy their ground forces. There's a lot of US reinforcements that's going to come in through the Netherlands and through northern Germany and through Denmark. I believe they have their pre-positioned forces in these coastal areas in the ports over here. I think one over here and potentially another over here. There's a couple of them in this area. So I think what we're going to do is really... I need to figure out how to get this game border, so I'm going to have to ask the developer how to do that. So I can have my drawing tool on. That'd be great. Maybe I can use the drawing tool. Let's go ahead and double check. I'll try. Not that one. I didn't mean to launch that. Epic Pen. There we are. I launched a game launch and I didn't mean to do that. Let's not do that. Alright. Oh. Okay. Would have been nice. Okay. What I'll go ahead and do then is place this into... It's not super nice, but I can go ahead and do that. Alright. It cuts off the bottom a little bit, but I can deal with that for now. It's not going to work perfectly, is it? Okay. I need to get a borderless option, and then we can use the drawing tool again. That would come in very handy. Alright. So... we have a couple options here. I don't know how many of you are here. We've got 8 so far, so that's pretty cool. And on my phone over again. So very professional. So we have an option here. We can invade Austria, which gains us victory points, which is good. It does present another option for us to drive on through to the south, which is pretty useful. It would be... it'd be useful because of the fact that, well, the Austrians aren't a pushover. If I take a look over here then, so we do have Austria with 37 units. The Austrians don't really have an air force, though. They do have units, of course. You can see that they have a number of defensive units over here. Their main forces are concentrated at Vienna. Now, Vienna is a supply source, which is pretty useful. It's not going to be too bad for us, because while our supply sources aren't too far away, this is a pretty narrow front, really. But still very useful. Indeed, okay. Right, let's see. I'm going to avoid air superiority. I think we have the fighters to manage it, and I need to make sure we can just damage NATO as much as we can on the first turn. Now, do we go for total preparation? That's very expensive. I could go for total preparation and doomed. Now, NATO has 150. The thing here is I want to give myself options, but I want to deny him options. So let's see, we have we have industrial sabotage over here then. So that costs me 15 income per turn. Oh, sorry, up to 15% income per turn for NATO. That gains me 10 victory points there. It does cost me income per turn, but it gives me a couple of victory points to play with, so I will play that one. We do have limited preparation over here, which is 8% income, 6 replacements per turn, 2 Soviet units repaired, and 2 rebuilt each turn. So limited preparation is not all that bad, really. You're paying 30. We've just gained another 10 here, so that's just costing us 20 to begin with. But I mean, total preparation is pretty wild, because you gain that 10% income, 10 replacements, free. It's pretty powerful. Alright. Minus 10% income, 2 victory points per turn, cost of 5 income for us, okay. We'll use the KGB. I'm going to try and use the KGB to, like, hit NATO as much as possible. Now the question comes down to who do we mobilize? I love the music for this game, man. We do have stunning planning, by the way, which is really, really useful. Now, the difficulty with this one is we have -3 replacements for 4 turns, which is going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt that much. The mobility gain for this is really important, because it's not just ground units, it's everything. It's really important. Because, like I said, it is everything. So, there's a position over here that I would like to go ahead and take. Now, for example, Danenberg over here. Dannenberg. The problem with Dannenberg is it's a force and you're also crossing a major river, so it's pretty difficult to get across there. The thing about Dannenberg that does matter here is, because if you look at how narrow this front is over here into Schleswig-Holstein, I think it is. I'm mispronouncing that like hell, but you know what I mean. Into this general area around Hamburg. It's pretty narrow. We have 3 tiles that we can move through. There's Hamburg itself, which we have to take to be able to cross over here. We have to take Hamburg. Well, I don't have to take the city. I can occupy the city or occupy the tile. NATO can hold out in Hamburg proper. But I need to have control of this to go across here, to be able to use the roadway, which is pretty important. I believe if I take control of Hamburg, I can move across a road here, which is at least something. But if I take this and then move from here from Dannenberg into Lüneburg, I don't have to pay the river there. Yeah. You bugger off there, Alex. You bugger off. That's okay. It's stuff you can figure out anyway. But yes, Alex. Would appreciate you not seeing all of this. But yeah, it's okay. You too. See you later. Alright, okay. Now we nuke him, okay? Now he thinks we're not going to nuke him. We nuke him. We nuke him hard. We use chemical weapons too. We use kinetic rods. We use rods from God. Okay. But yes, for example, you can see these units over here having 4 mobility. We need more mobility. So we're going to go for the excellent planning. Stunning planning, there we go. It is well worthwhile. There you go. You can see that's just impacted everybody there. Hey, doing that dry. Good to have you, my man. Yeah, having 5, huge deal. Absolutely huge deal. I cannot just... Yeah, it is a big-ass deal. Okay. Did these guys gain? I don't think these guys gained. It may be just all ground forces. Yeah, it looks like it's just ground forces. I think some air units. It may be just Soviet units that are actually impacted here. Let me double check. No, ground forces... Ground forces, but not Pact air. Maybe certain things, but yeah, we have, even the trains are affected. The trains, by the way, do generate as replacements. Essentially how the trains work is they will give a big old buff to movement, but you need to have them begin with that stack. Alright. So what we'll do then, yeah, I can see that these guys actually have a lot more movement here. What we'll do is we'll figure out the units that are going to move and have them pre-positioned for trains and have the trains move them. Because they won't be able to fight from the rail carts, but they'll be able to move quickly. So I wish I had my drawing tool, I really do. But essentially how I'm thinking about doing this is we could cut through possibly to Frankfurt. The issue with these cities is that you do gain that tension index. They do score income from here, so it is worth taking. There's also the victory points. We could try to drive north over here. It's difficult because I need to balance out where my forces are. It would be nice to try and reinforce this area and drive on this way. Like, essentially, there's rivers everywhere, which complicates things. It's not really a perfect avenue of advance. But once you do get past these initial rivers, it does at least open up a little bit more. Like, over here, it's not so bad, but we'll see. Okay, I'm just going to make some moves, and then we'll regret it later. So I could go for the total preparation here. I think if I do want to win the ground war... So I'm going to need 70... victory points for total preparation. I'm going to need 70 for Ghost Plan, and I'm going to need another 30 for Warsaw Pact modernization, actually, sorry. So that would take us to 170 there. 70 here, 30 for the Pact, and then... sorry, and then the other 70 there. So, total preparation 70, Ghost Plan 70, Pact modernization 30. So we'll go for... See, that cancels out what we pay for the superb planning. But it does mean I won't be able to mobilize everybody. See, these mobilizations are really important too, because you gain back. So preparation, 20, 20, 20. Okay. If you can hear snoring, by the way, that's Teddy in the background. He says hi. I could go potentially for Doomed, which will give us another 50 VPs here. It does give Nato another 30, also does increase the tensions index. But I think if I'm going to win a conventional war, I need the victory points here. I think we need the victory points, so I'm going to go for Doomed. Okay. Like, there's such thing as the commands over here, which are very important too. We can invade Austria, which at least will give us the extra VP there. I could even have an army... I could have an 11th army sent to the north as well. I think they come from the Baltic district. They may not be visible right now. We also have the amphibious landings. Okay. Let's go for air superiority then. I need to win in the air, don't I? Okay. I could go for limited preparation. It's a big drop in... Yeah. It is a big drop. I could not mobilize the Hungarians. The Hungarians are going to see combat, but they're going to be dealing with the Austrians. They do have Soviet support over here. There's also Czech support that could potentially come too. But I need them to really push through here. The ones I'd really like is the Joint Command. Again, sorry about Teddy snoring there. Alright. The Czechoslovakian one's pretty powerful. The Polish one's pretty powerful there. The East German one's interesting because it's like you gain that efficiency in mobilizer, so that's a lot of income there. But we don't, in theory, have rebuilds. We could also try to delay NATO, well, basically France's entry to the NATO conflict. So it costs their NATO 5 EPs, minus 20 for me, but that's a problem. It does reduce tension index a little bit. Alright. The alternative is we concentrate on just mobilizing the Soviets, the Red Army. It's a big... I'm kind of tempted to go for the limited preparation due to the fact that it's only 2% less income. It's a big difference in replacement, so that's a problem. It's also repairing 2 units and rebuilding only 2. But it is a pretty big difference. It may enable us to have something else to play with. So right now we've got 263. Okay. Let me figure this out because I'm terrible at maths, especially when I'm doing live streams. So let's see here. So if I get the calculator up. So if I go 70 for total preparation. 70 for Gosplan. 30 for Warsaw Pact mobilization. That takes us to 170 there. Okay. Now, there's other options. I could potentially send an army to the north, which would gain 40. But it does mean that we are limited on other options. Like, well, I don't know. Having that army could be very useful in Europe, especially if we're trying to win this as conventional war. But having them elsewhere does help too, because you do fight the war across as well, across the world. I don't know if I want to... It would be really useful having the preparation there. I'm thinking here if we go with... Right, if I go with just like the limited preparation, that gives me 130, but I get full modernization. If I go for then preparation or Czechoslovakia, that takes us to 150. Polish takes us to 170. So, that's one of the options. I could go for Joint Command or Soviet DDR Joint Command as well over the East Germans. And we do have the invasion of Austria over here then. So the Pact invades Austria to outflank NATO. Right. But it does mean that Italian reinforcements will arrive. What do the Italians have? The Italians are 25 air power. Oh, just 25 overall there, really. Air power and ground power included there. Yeah, I don't know why it's pictured football. Maybe there's a World Cup on it this time. I'm not too sure, honest to God. It's pretty interesting. It's going to be related to something, but I know very little about football, actually. So, France's delay. It does potentially mean that their forces may not be committed initially. Which is pretty powerful. I feel like we're probably going to go for total preparation. I think that's probably worthwhile. I mean, it would be nice. So this is it. This is good for the Soviet Red Army, but then obviously the others are going to be lacking. And it does mean that I'm going to be paying out points there. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go with limited preparation, and I may regret this, but we can always play future series here. I'm going to go for limited preparation. I'm going to bring up the 20th Tank Division and the 30th Gank Division? Guards Tank Division. The Gank Division. Alright. I'm not going to mobilize Hungary. I'm going to mobilize the 2 majors. Now, it could be... Now, each German mobilization is really quite hefty, but I don't, in theory... I'd assume that there must be something else to it, but that's a big income boost. Hard to say that, really. I could mobilize Poland in advance, anyway. I don't necessarily have to modernize the Pact forces, but it does help. I'd love this one, but I don't know if I can afford it. See, these are the questions, like preparing the Czechs as well. Like, the Czechs are pretty powerful. I may just have to go with the army going to the north so I can get everything here, really. Or at least everything that I want to have. I've gone cheaper on the Soviet preparation, so I think I need to mobilize the Warsaw Pact nation. So we'll go for Polish mobilization. Let's go ahead and beef these guys up. The engineers are very, very useful. Alright. We'll go with East German mobilization. We'll go with preparation in Czechoslovakia. Alright, okay. We'll move forward into the next phase. So this is what I was talking about. So we have Pact modernization, which is 30 there. We have a nothing card. I think that works in multiplayer, but I'm not super keen on that right now. We have air assault operations, which would be pretty interesting. Like, I can go ahead and beef up our air mobile units, which is pretty good because it does last all game, and it means that we use them really as a conventional unit. But I think I will try to win. I think I will go with paratroopers. But it depends, really. Like, they have the... Like, here we go, we have a deployment north over here. Alright. If I deploy them to the north, it does mean that he may have to deploy his US Marine Corps to the north as well. So the Baltic Military Division... District, sorry. Of the 11th Army. So it does come down to the fact that we lose that army for Central Europe, but I think we will have them go north because I need the points, so I'll go for that. Right. So there's also the KGB brigades, which are actually pretty useful because you actually do gain some additional units there. But it does cost you 7 replacement points and 5 PPs, which, okay, not that massive, but it's still a cost. It does give us additional morale, though, 2 units in the same stack, so that's pretty powerful, just having that additional morale. Morale's really, really, really a big deal. So it's worth doing. Alright. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to land paratroopers, really. Because what we could do is we could concentrate our paratroopers on Denmark, land with the amphibious forces in Denmark, really try and beef up our amphibious forces, and just really concentrate the air forces. I'm going to probably have them in places where I know, I mean, it depends really, because we can land really far out. How I envision this series in the future is that we're going to play a couple games. I may win this one, I may lose this one, this may be a draw. But this is where the options are going to come into play and the experience is going to come into play. We're going to try and go big in this one. So I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play any of these ones right now. Maybe I can play them, but I want to make sure I've got options for what I want to do here, so I can proceed to the next phase. Okay. Can I afford this? I really do want it, but I'm not sure if I can. But it does mean that we have additional men on the field. And it does mean that we have the additional morale boost, which is a pretty big deal. Like the border guard units, the KGB are pretty damn useful. Do I have a KGB unit? I'm gonna go units, KGB. Alright, we've got one over here apparently. Okay, so this is a smaller unit over here. So this is one that's not going to participate in the battle. We can see here then it does help. Search bonus movement points modifier. Gives us additional defense, attack. It gives us additional morale too, so that's a pretty big boost. I think it'd be very useful to try and motivate the other forces there. Right, okay. I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I think it's just too important to let go of. It's just... morale is going to be something that we'll struggle with. And see, these are the KGB actual brigades over here then. So they're not particularly powerful, but they are useful, and they do have good mobility. So units like this could be very useful just for helping to mop up and just for spread it out there, really. Now, they do take supply, but if we take a look then, I go here and click on this. You can see here, yeah, again, not as big as the morale modifier as the other one, but again, we have the others here. So movement point, attack and defense there, search bonus, they're very useful. Now, I want to have a move north so I can help out with Polish forces. Let's see. Have one here. Have one here. Okay, we do have a KGB unit there. But this is a very weak unit, can be destroyed there. So I'll deploy one here too. I think I'll have another one here to be deployed so it can go north. I'm going to have one in each stack if I can. We will need them in the north. So yeah, I could have another one over here for the East Germans that are not too far behind. There are some divisions, real divisions around here. They're kind of in the interior. Like, we have the East Germans over here. Yeah, there's the 8th Motorschützen Division over here. Actual army over here too. Okay. Have the... yeah, there's the East Germans. So I'll have one deployed here so I can go to the East Germans. I'll deploy another one over here in the north end, so we have two. These will be deployed over here then. So I could even have the East Germans attack into Berlin. And I think I will. I want to get the Soviet forces moving away from Berlin ASAP. Berlin's going to fall. Though it's not guaranteed. But I do need the Soviet forces elsewhere, frankly. I think there's sufficient forces around here. We also do have a train here, which is very, very useful. Like, there's actually really not many places that begin with just a trains there, so I could actually have some of these forces at least move out pretty quick. Oh, we do have a Stasi over here, actually. Very cool. Yeah, there we are. What do I want to do? So, this is a pretty decent unit here. I've got the army over here. Sorry about Teddy snoring his ass off in the background. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and actually place them here because I can have the Soviet forces move out pretty quick. Right, now we have the others over here then. So they could have had one... well, that one will move from there, so I don't need to cover them. Though it would be useful to have one there now. But we'll see. We'll concentrate over here at Fulda. Over here as well to make sure we get this covered. Just make sure we've got the main armies. Problem is there's no army command over here. So having morale is going to be a big deal. Again, no army command over here, so they need to have that morale boost. I'll make sure everybody's covered here with a morale. Alright, there we are. So we have Pact modernization and we have Gosplan. Right. We'll go for Gosplan military priority. Okay, so this is going to really just turn up the dial on what we have available now. And the main thing is going to be fighters, the things of those natures. That age, sorry. So MiG-21's there. MiG-23. Alright. You take a look at the fact that we have the T-64s over here, so 6.5. These are the guards. The guard divisions are really where we want to concentrate our assets, to be honest. I'm going to need as much AA as I can get. Right, okay. We've got a lot of these units as well, then, actually. Mixed units. So we'll take these and we'll upgrade them. Yeah. I mean, just having superior bombers there. It's got Su-24s, which are very nice. Having here then MiG-29s, MiG-23s. MiG-29s are really quite a big deal. Like, 6.6 is no joke. They do not have land, but they do defend in land, which is useful. Heavy bombs are pretty damn nice. Like, 6.6 is pretty damn good. They're going to be very, very useful to have that. Okay, so you can see here that T-80 is 7.6. 7.6. 6.6 over here for the T-64. T-72, sorry. Oh, so we do have a T-72 division, but it didn't do it. Right, so 7.6. 6.6. 2.4. 2.4. Having that air defense is a pretty big deal. T-80 there. 7.6. 2.3. 6.623. Alright. 7.623. So it seems like the T-80 divisions do tend towards having more air defense. And some of them do have more ground attack. Yeah, it looks like the T-80s tend to have more ground attack. Is there a T-64 division here still? T-72. Right, there's upgraded T-64s over here. You can see their attack is 6.6. Alright. We'll go for Pact modernization. Now, taking these T-55s and actually upgrading them is a big deal. So we've got 4.4 there. And 1.1. We've got the Panzer Division over here with T-55s. 5.4. Upgrade these guys. Yeah, you can see they're 5.5s now. Yeah, 5.5. Still 1.1 on the air defense there. 5.5. So we've got the T-55 AM. It's not a massive upgrade, but it's a pretty significant upgrade. I do love how the T-72M looks. Like, its paint scheme's amazing. That's a pretty damn good division there, 6.5. I believe it does upgrade the infantry divisions as well. I think it just tend to see, like, modernization across the board. The tanks are the easiest one to see, though, of course. Alright. Okay. So that leaves us with a empowered NATO. Okay, there we are. So now what we're going to go ahead and do here then is we'll send this to our opponent, and then he'll get back to us, and then we'll continue from that point. So that has been the planning. There will, of course, be the actual tactical placement of things, really. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next part. Take care and stay sexy. I hope that the stream's caught up. I'll wait for the stream to catch up and then it should be good. Alright. Until next time, take care, guys.